I'm going to show you how to level up fast in Palworld. So once you get to level like 10 or so, from there starts to slow down a little bit if you don't know what you're doing. And I'm going to show you what you need to do to keep on leveling fast. So the main thing you need to level fast is pal spheres, and you're going to need a lot of them. So we're going to look at how to get these super fast. And also there are certain pals that you're going to want that are going to make it even faster to level using these. So if you're not already level 2, you want to get to level 2 so you make pal spheres and do that at the primitive workbench. So in order to make one, press B, open up the build menu, use Q, you need to go through this, and you go to production, make a primitive workbench with 2 wood, which you can get wood by punching a tree, and eventually with a hatchet. So then you make one of these, you go in here, and you need to make pal spheres in bulk. So in order to get these in bulk, you need wood, stone, and paldium fragments. Now wood and stone later on, we should be able to get infinite of them for free. The only thing you have to manually gather eventually is the paldium fragments. If you don't know, stone outcrops look like this, and you ideally mine them with a pickaxe. Obviously, wood is from trees. You get those with a hatchet. And paldium fragments can be found from these blue things which you can get with pickaxes. Generally, you'll find these all over the map. Right now, I'm in this particular spot, but you'll find those all over the place. Once you have the mats, go to the workbench, select recipe, click on the pal sphere, and click max or however many you want. Start the production, and hold F or whatever your default key you have set to in order to craft them. Once you're done crafting some, press F again in order to acquire. Also, later on, a few levels later, like level 20 or 15 or something, you can get the sphere bench, the sphere workbench, which will let you make them here, which will craft them significantly faster and save you a lot of time. Now, in the very beginning, what you'll do is you'll go to wild pals and you'll beat them up with a pickaxe or a hatchet, your fists, or with your pal, whatever way you want to do it. When they're low on HP, you're going to throw your pal spheres at them and catch them. Now the way this works is you'll see at the bottom right after I catch it, you get an XP bonus for the first 10 that you catch of any unique pal, and that scales with your level. So at my level it's 500. If you're level like 3, it'll be like 100 bonus or whatever. But the main goal is you catch 10 of every pal, and that's going to level you insanely fast if you can do it. You're going to do that until you hit level 7, and then you'll be able to make the Melpaca saddle. This saddle will be crafted at the Palgear workbench, which you unlock at level 6. After that, you're going to want to find a Melpaca. They're usually level 8 through 12 in the area I'm in, but you can find them in different places of the map. I know they're through this area right here on the map, but they're probably in lots of other places too, so you got to just find one of these or keep leveling until you can get a different mount. Also, it's worth noting the Palgear workbench uses paldium fragments, wood, and cloth in order to make. In order to make cloth, you're going to have to unlock that in the technology tree right here, level 3. And you can make cloth at a primitive workbench using the materials. I'm going to just look at this bench. Using wool, which is a material that you get from some of the different pals in the world. Once you have your Palgear workbench, then you can make different saddles as you unlock them. That Melpaca saddle uses leather, wool, and paldium fragments. Leather is also found from animals. It's not refined. You just find it as leather. And wool is the unrefined that you'll get from the animals. Cloth is a refined, wool is the base material. So just base materials, go kill animals and stuff till you get the leather and the wool, go mine up the paldium fragment, and then make your Melpaca saddle. Once you make the Melpaca saddle, it'll just be in your key items. You don't need to equip it to Melpacas. So then after that, you're going to get your Melpaca out, and what you can do is you can hold F by default in order to ride it. The button's at the bottom of the screen. Then from here, it gets much, much faster to level, because then you can just ride your Melpaca around, which is much faster than running around, faster than even a sprint. And at the bottom, you'll see there's air cannon, sandblast, fluffy tackle. You'll get these as you level. I'm not sure what level you unlock them. Air cannon was really low. I think it might have been right out of the gate at level 7. What you can do is you can run around and use air cannon on the wild pals, and then just throw the pal spheres at them afterwards. Now, this will speed up the process of leveling by a lot. Now, you gotta be careful not to overkill them like that, but some cases it can't really be helped. But if it's something you're going to overkill, I would just not worry too much about it and just overkill it and just keep going on to the next ones until you find one that can survive, and just keep on going and doing this in order to level up. Also, I forgot I can show the habitat. So the Melpacas can actually be found in all these locations. So hopefully that helps you out. And you're going to use those Melpacas to level up all the way until you hit level 12. And that's when things get really broken, because that's when you unlock the Eikthyrdeer saddle. This is an insanely broken mount. Here's all the locations on the map where you can find an Eikthyrdeer. So just go to one of these and run around until you find one and you manage to catch one. And just like before, it's made at the Palgear workbench, but this one's a little bit more complicated because you're going to need ingots and you're also going to need horns. Now, the horns can be found from killing the Eikthyrdeers or by capturing them. They'll drop items when you capture them regardless, so just capture or defeat the Eikthyrdeers. But then you also need ingots. So in order to get ingots, you're going to have to go to technology. And inside of here at level 10, you can unlock the primitive furnace. So with this, you'll need flame organ, stone, and wood in order to make this. Flame organs can be found from any fire animal. The flame foxes, if you have those in your area, are good, or anything that has the little fire icon above its name when you're fighting it will drop flame organs. Then once you have all those mats, you can make a primitive furnace. So if you ever tried to use one of these, you actually can't use it. So you'll go in here, select an ingot, you'll start production like anything else. But once you do it, it won't actually work unless you have a flame pal. So for example, the fox parks, if I throw out one of these nearby, or if I'm just at the base and have one working here, it'll run up to this and breathe fire in it in order to smelt the ingots out of the ore that you find. It's also worth mentioning that ore nodes look something like this, and you'll swing at them with your pickaxe in order to get the ore that you need in order to put in that primitive furnace and get your ingots. So once you have the saddle, just like before, it'll go into your key items, and it'll be in here. There it is, the Eikthyrdeer saddle. Then if you've caught an Eikthyrdeer, you're going to go ahead and throw that out. By default, hold F to get on it. Now you've got this. So you're going to do the exact same thing as before, but what's insane about this guy is he has, not only is he's just faster in general, but this guy has an antler uppercut, which looks like this and has a really short cooldown. And this is extremely fast for getting around the map. So you'll find enemies that you'll be able to fight without killing them, and you'll blast at them with your E ability until they get weak, and then you're going to throw the Pal Spheres at them, just like before. Now, if your Eikthyrdeer is too strong for the area, just move further and further into the harder areas of the map until you find enemies that are low enough level to not get one-shot by the Eikthyrdeer, so that way you can keep on leveling. Also, as you catch all these enemies, eventually you'll catch 10 of each one, and then you'll have to move to higher level areas because you'll already have caught everything in the area. So now at this point, you're pretty much set, you're ready to go. You can run around insanely fast with the Eikthyrdeer, which is insanely good for exploring the map regardless of trying to level up. So once you have this, definitely get this because it's crazy for just exploring and running around. But then you can run around and you can just randomly hit things and throw the spheres and level up. So now the problem you'll run into, and you'll run into this problem along the way, which is you have to get stone, you have to get wood, and you get paldium fragments in order to make those spheres in big enough numbers to be able to level up this way. So there's some tricks you can do for that, or specifically one major trick, which is under the technology tab, you'll eventually get to, at level 7, the logging site and the stone pit. Now these just use stone, wood, and paldium fragments to put down, and you're going to put these down at your base. Now if you don't know how to make a base, that's going to be by just putting a pal box down, and then everything in the area of that pal box is your base. So then you're going to do that. You're also going to put down those two structures I just mentioned. You see them right here on screen right now. And then you're going to go over to your pal box management menu, and you're going to put certain pals at the base. Now when you do this, when you mouse over each pal, you'll see on the right side of the screen that there's a bunch of different icons. Now, if you go into your party and look at the ones that are in your party, you can actually see the names of each of these things. And there's kindling, planting, handiwork, lumbering, etc. Well, different ones have different things that they're willing to do around the base. And what you need to do is find pals that have lumbering or mining. You need at least one of each, so that way they'll actually use those stations. So the Eikthyrdeer, for example, has lumbering. Now, if I go in here, the ones I have here, I forget which one it is, actually. It's this guy, the Tombat, which you can find at night, has mining. So really fast, the Tombat can be found at night in all of these different locations if you want the Tombat, or you just find any other one that has the ability to mine. Then back at the Pal Box management menu, just drag whichever one that is down into here, and then it'll place them around your base, and then they will hopefully get to work at some point harvesting these things. Now, you might want to put a storage box right next to these, because a lot of times you'll end up in a situation where you haven't been here in a couple hours. They'll have more wood than you can carry, in which case you'll be able to go over here and acquire, and then just turn and hopefully put it down. If you can't and you're too heavy, what you can do is go into your inventory, drop the wood, and then move over closer to your storage box, and then pick the wood up, and then go to the storage box, and then put the wood in the storage box. Now, from the storage box, you can craft as long as it's nearby. So if all that wood is in there, I can craft with it all the way over here because it's inside of my same base location like this. So you don't actually have to carry it over here or have it in your inventory. You can just leave it in that box, put the wood and stone in that box, and then you're ready to craft, and the only thing you need is the paldium. As for the paldium, once you get the llama, or especially the Eikthyrdeer, then what you can do is find your favorite places to farm it, and all you do is run around, jump off your mount, pickaxe down the paldium fragments, and then move on to the next one in the chain, and you're just going to repeat this over and over again in order to level up fast. So right there's 5 balls, jump off, jump on, or jump off right there, and then get 5 more, and you're just going to farm different areas like this till you have 50 to 100 paldium fragments, and then because you have infinite stone and wood thanks to the other trick, then you're going to basically just need the paldium fragments. You get 100 paldium fragments. That's 100 paldium spheres, which is enough to gain multiple levels, and you just repeat that over and over again. And at this point, you are all set to go exploring while also leveling up. You'll just run around like I showed you and just shoot at the wild enemies, and then throw the pal spheres at them and repeat. And that's going to be pretty much one of the fastest ways to level up. When I find better ways to level up, I'll be sure to post a video about it. But for now, this one will get you started. It is an extremely fast way to level, and it's kind of a win-win because you get to go explore the map while leveling really, really fast. It's also worth mentioning that at level 14, you unlock the Mega Sphere, which is going to be the same thing, except for it also requires an ingot, which is going to be a little bit more annoying to get, but it'll make it so it's easier to catch higher level enemies, and you'll probably have to get these eventually once you get past level 15 or so pals that you're trying to catch. And there's later on, there's other ones too, like the Gigasphere, and there's a Hypersphere, and you may want to consider making those too when you hit those points in the game if the pals are too high level to catch consistently with the lower level spheres. Another thing you need to know is you can find these around the map. These effigies you can actually turn in. They're called Lift Monk effigies, and you can turn these into certain statues, or more specifically at statues of power, which you can craft starting at level 6. You can also find these around the world. Now once you make one of these or find one of these, you can go over to it, and you can by default press F to enhance player stats, and you can turn in those effigies in order to increase your capture power, which makes it so you have a higher chance of capturing pals with the same spheres you were using before. So that plus all those other things, and it's just another thing you can do while out exploring to increase how fast you level up doing all these methods. And that's about it. You're going to do that to level up fast. If you get to the point that you've captured every enemy in the game 10 times, you're probably about max level by then, and if not, you can also fight bosses in order to get some XP as well. That's another good way to get XP, is just by killing any bosses every day or whenever they come back up, depending on where and how and why you're fighting the boss. And that's about it. Hopefully it helps you out, guys. Now you know how to level up fast in Palworld.